Good evening, and welcome to this special meeting of Americans for IPTV. I'm your host, Neil Newman, and our guest is Don Avery, Executive Director of Americans for IPTV. Don will answer your questions about the benefits of IPTV and how you can get Congress on track to make this exciting service available to you and every other American. Well, Don, let's get started. First, we have a question from Bill Anderson in Madison, Wisconsin. He wants you to explain just what IPTV is.
Internet Protocol Television, or IPTV, is probably the hottest topic in the world of communications. It's an amazing technology with tremendous potential. But even though there is growing awareness of IPTV, it is largely misunderstood, not just by consumers, but by many in the communications industry as well. Let me first tell you what IPTV is not. It is not television broadcast over the Internet. The IP stands for Internet Protocol, but that doesn't mean you have to log on to a website to access TV programming. The IP refers to a method of sending information over a secure, tightly managed network that provides a superior and personalized viewing experience. Why is IPTV superior to regular TV? Because it allows you to watch what you want, how you want, and when you want to watch it. IPTV allows the service provider to send you only those channels that you want at any given time. With traditional television broadcasting, every channel is delivered to every home on the network. But IPTV sends only one program at a time. When a viewer changes channels, a new stream of content shoots down from the IPTV operator's computer servers. That means there's almost no limit to your programming choices. So with IPTV, it will be economical to show a college basketball game to everyone who wants to see it, rather than just a particular community. IPTV will allow providers to deliver many more channels than are currently available. Right now, cable systems shoot all their channels to a set-top box at the same time, but those boxes can only handle 250 channels. So instead of tuning into programs predetermined by the broadcast network or cable or satellite TV provider, viewers can search the Internet and choose from hundreds of thousands of programs sent right to them from high-speed connections. You'll be able to access more HD content. Since you're pulling in computer files, you could also view your personal photos and home movies. You could even control what your children may see when you're away from home using your cell phone. But IPTV won't just change what you watch on TV, but how you watch it. For instance, if we're watching sports, IPTV lets you see not just the event itself, but all the information related to it. You could look at player statistics while you're watching the game. You could also see the game from many different camera angles. You could even see more than one game at a time. Finally, IPTV allows you to watch TV when you want to watch it. Your cell phone can act as a VCR or DVR remote control to record shows. But unlike a VCR or DVR remote, it can be done when you're away from home. But there are many other interactive features with IPTV. You'll be able to interact with television shows, such as voting in polls or submitting questions to the hosts, much as you'll see on this webcast. We already talked about how you can view your personal photos and home movies on TV, but you could also share those pictures and videos with family and friends who are far away. You could send them messages while you're watching the same TV show. You can receive caller ID information on your TV. In fact, you could even shop from your TV. There are many more features of IPTV we won't take time to list, such as multiple pictures in pictures and receiving stock, weather, and sports information right on the TV screen. Again, IPTV lets you watch what you want and how you want, when you want. Economically, IPTV can potentially be deployed at lower cost than cable television systems. And with the telephone companies as new competitors, cable TV prices will fall. That's why we say that IPTV is the future of TV.
Very good, Don. Now we have a webcam question from John in Springfield, Illinois. Go ahead, John.
Yes. Can you tell me who offers IPTV and why I don't have IPTV on my cable system now?
Well, John, don't expect IPTV to come from your cable company anytime soon. Cable operators have spent roughly $100 billion since the mid-90s upgrading their networks. Because of these investments, it could be a decade or more before cable industry widely adopts IP-based video delivery. But telecommunications companies like AT&T, Verizon, and Bell South have spent billions developing their broadband networks to launch commercial TV services like IPTV. AT&T, Bell South, and Verizon are already launching IPTV systems. AT&T offers IPTV in 20 markets. Verizon offers TV services over its fiber-to-the-home network called FiOS to communities in Texas, Virginia, Florida, New York, California, and Massachusetts. FiOS is widely considered superior to AT&T's IPTV network because it has significantly more bandwidth, hundreds of megabits per second compared to the 20 to 25 AT&T offers with its UVerse service. But the phone companies have lots of problems getting permission to offer television service. They have to have regulatory approval, and they must get that approval from about 33,000 franchise boards in every municipality in the country. For each one of those cities, counties, or town, that process could take months or years. Some predict it will be 10 or 15 years before Americans get IPTV, which by then will have become a standard around the globe. The chairman of the FCC, Kevin Martin, does not seem to have the courage to fight these 33,000 screaming mayors and town councils. The White House often talks about the urgency of getting Americans wired for broadband, but it has done nothing so far. Senators John Ensign, John McCain, and Ted Stevens proposed legislation to preempt the local franchise boards, but the powerful cable industry is fighting it. Behind the scenes, they're doing all they can to throw sand in the gears, as one Cox Cable executive described it. They're joined by some self-appointed consumer activists and even AARP. These groups claim that telephone companies would deliver IPTV to wealthy neighborhoods instead of poor ones. They call it digital redlining. This argument is complete nonsense. We would have no wireless phones, no TV or cars if businesses weren't allowed to offer their products to those who can afford them first. The phone companies are creating an infrastructure in which adding new customers will be much cheaper than the first ones. We lag the world in broadband because of this fight with 50 state phone regulators that has lasted more than a decade. If you doubt that, take a look at what a cable company does to maintain its local monopolies. Last year, Adelphia renewed its franchise with Boynton Beach, Florida, after it made a $200,000 donation to City Hall for TV equipment. Even when those negotiations go smoothly, they are frequently subject to votes or lawsuits that can slow the process by months or years. As one business analyst said, IPTV is becoming the final battleground between telecom operators and cable companies. Because these archaic laws force phone companies to go through tens of thousands of bureaucrats, the U.S. is expected to trail the rest of the world in IPTV deployment for years.
Thank you, Don. Now we'd like to ask you, one of those viewing, if you'd be interested in having IPTV services. Please vote in the poll that is on your screen. Also, we encourage you to click the link below your screen to send an email to your congressman or U.S. senator to support the bill by Senator Ensign that will speed up deployment of IPTV.